Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda and this is Confidence Mindset with Amanda. And today I just want to have a quick chat about mind management. So mind management, as we know, is keeping in control of our thoughts and keeping our awareness on what it is that we want. So we're becoming more aware of what it is that we are thinking about through the process of managing our mind every single day. We are also managing our emotions through breath work and self-regulation activities, practices of meditation and things like that to stabilize our nervous system. And the reason why I want to bring this topic up is for anyone who is struggling with keeping your thoughts on what it is that you want, struggling with keeping a mental diet, there is ways that you can incorporate it into your daily routine that is teaching your body that this is becoming a habit that is becoming a part of you, which essentially will become a part of your everyday life, just like brushing your teeth. So, for example, if you are somebody who is having intrusive thoughts, you can set up things like, say, for example, a jar where you are having intrusive thoughts, but you have this jar where you put €1 or $1 in every time that you fall off your mental diet. Now, this does not mean that you do not acknowledge how you are feeling. If you are really, really triggered, acknowledge that, accept it, and then let it go. But we want to be disciplining ourselves to picking ourselves back up and getting back on our thoughts. So when you are managing your mind, you can have these little daily things around where you have a jar. So let's say, for example, you're on your mental diet and you're doing okay, and then all of a sudden you are meeting a friend and you fall into a whole conversation that was totally against everything that you have been trying to keep your mind on, and then you're feeling to yourself, right, I did that, and so I'm going to my jar and I'm going to put in the euro, dollar, whatever, and you do this. And so then as you are doing that, you are telling your mind that, and your body as well too, you're telling your mind that this is something that you are not wanting to continue to do. So you're training your mind in a sense that the next time you are with that friend, you're going to remember about putting the money into the jar, and you're going to say to yourself, no, I don't want to be putting money into the jar every single time I have an intrusive thought. So I'm going to keep my mind right with this conversation, and I'm going to direct it, and I'm going to be disciplined in keeping my mind on the thoughts that I want. You see what I'm saying here? So you're teaching your mind, and this is just an example. So you're teaching your mind that every time you have intrusive thoughts or you engage in a conversation that is undesirable to what it is you are trying to create, you have a thing where you either, it doesn't even have to be a jar, it could be something that you dislike doing, but you put yourself in that position because you weren't able to stay on your mental diets, for example. Now, this is only if you are interested in doing something like this. I'm not saying that you have to not acknowledge your emotions or your thoughts, but however, when we want to get into a disciplined way of being and we want to teach our minds and our bodies a habit of becoming more aware of our thoughts, it is a good kind of activity to tell your mind and body what happens when you are fallen out of your mental diet and your deliberate creation. So that's one way of doing things when you are creating your mental diet. So the other way then as well too is when you can have your positive jar where you are putting money in the jar every single day because you are rewarding yourself with a good behavior, I suppose you could say, but with a good mental diet. You're thinking to yourself, I was so on top of my thoughts today, I'm so happy with myself, and you're putting the money into the jar because you're rewarding yourself. And this then is telling your mind and your body that, for basically, I suppose you could say like good behavior, bad behavior, or whatever, but we won't go into that kind of idea, but it's the same kind of thing. So you're telling your mind and your body that the habit of keeping your thoughts on what it is that you want is more rewarding than the habit of falling into intrusive ways of being, falling into victim mentalities and all this kind of thing that we are consciously trying to train our mind and body to overcome. And another thing as well too, you can have any reward you want. If you don't have money or whatever, anything that you tend to reward yourself with, even if it's just sitting down to a good movie movie and a bar of chocolate or things like that. Keep the rewards for when you are knowing that you were on top of your thoughts and you were keeping on to your mental diet and all this kind of day. You had a good day with keeping your thoughts in check. Now, the reason why I want to bring this up is it's not because we don't have to acknowledge how we're feeling and in our intrusive thoughts, but over a period of time of doing this, you will find that the intrusive thoughts will become less and less. You can even have a jar and you can even look at it yourself, and you will find that your positive jar will become more full than your intrusive jar, because you will be teaching your brain and your body that you get rewards for this kind of behavior. So your subconscious mind, if it kind of operates through the idea of impressions of feelings and things like that and emotions. And so it's going to go for the elevated emotion more than the triggered emotion. And so you will find, if you do this over a period of time, say a month, you will find that your positive jar will be fuller than your intrusive jar. And that will also give you more motivation to keep going with your mindset and to keep going with your deliberate creation of what it is that you are manifesting. And it's a way to teach your body how to also bring in the habit of incorporating this as your new way of being as well too, because our bodies, like, we do operate in habits. We get up in the morning and we have thoughts that come to our head straight away from habits of thinking about past the day before and things like that. But when we are consciously manifesting, we do want to get into that whole discipline area where we are deciding to pick the positive way than the intrusive way, if you understand what I'm saying. Now, we are human and we have emotions, and it's okay to validate these emotions. So always validate your emotions and accept them and let them go. Remember, I talked about those letters and burning them. I talked about total manifesting with Nikki Simpson, I think her name is, and she has all them techniques about writing letters down about how you're feeling and all that type of thing as well too. So you can do all these things and release all that emotion as well too. But you do want to be coming back onto your thoughts and keeping back on what it is that you want. So rewards are going to keep you on your positive way of being, because the subconscious mind will look for more ways to feel that elevated emotion. So I wanted to point out as well too that the reason why we are self-regulating our bodies and self-regulating our emotions, we're managing our emotions, is because the subconscious mind does pick up on emotion quicker than logic. And when we are self-regulating our nervous system through the breath work and the practices, we are practices of meditation, for example, we are calming the system down. But as we calm the system down, this is how the affirmations tend to have a better effect in going into our subconscious mind. So I said before that your subconscious mind is wide awake at nighttime. And so because your conscious mind is asleep, and this is why when your conscious mind is calmed down, it allows for the affirmations to go in a bit quicker, because the subconscious mind is always awake. So even if you have affirmations on in the background throughout your day and you're not even consciously thinking of them, they're going into your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind picks up on absolutely everything. So when you're asleep, your subconscious mind can pick up on these affirmations, because it's basically the gateway is open because your conscious mind is asleep. So this is why we want to be managing our emotions, because when we are managing our emotions in a way that we are coming from this relaxed state of being, our affirmations are more effective, because the subconscious mind deals more with emotions and the impressions of feelings. So let's say, for example, you are feeling triggered and you're feeling anxious and things like that. It's because, yes, okay, your nervous system is out of balance or whatever, but it's also because your subconscious mind has memorized this feeling and emotion, and is bringing up, maybe it can bring up intrusive thoughts and things like that, and making your body feel a bit more anxious, because your subconscious mind understands that anxiety means that we feel triggered and things like that. So I hope I'm making sense, but that's what that means. And so when we are in a relaxed state of being and we're teaching our mind and body emotionally to be in that relaxed state of being, our subconscious mind is picking up on the relaxed state of being. And so then when we say our affirmations, we have a tendency to have more of a excited, well, not even an excited kind of an emotion. You can be excited, obviously, but we're more relieved when we are saying them. We're in a more relaxed state of being, and so the subconscious mind picks up on this, and this is where the affirmations are seeping in more impressionable than, let's say, for example, if we are feeling anxiety or whatever, and we're affirm. Now, that does not mean that you can't manifest with affirm, but I'm going from my own experience here, and from my experience in manifesting. When I have manifested things, I have manifested things when I was in a more relaxed state of being, when I had said my affirmations, or even even manifesting, I was sitting down and not even having specific affirmations to manifest what it is that I want, but because I'm in that relaxed state of being, it's more of an assumption that I have that, yeah, this will happen, or this is the way it's going to be, because I am in that moment in time being more relaxed and more stable and more confident and believing in myself. And so I have had times where I had sat down and deliberately used affirmations to create something, but at the same time, I didn't do it every day. I may have done it maybe once or whatever, and it may have manifested a week or so later, maybe because I didn't have that much importance on it, that I didn't sit down and deliberately do it. But however, you can manifest things by just affirming once, when you are in that kind of known state of being where you are saying the affirmations, but you're saying the affirmations because you're having this genuine assumption that this is the way that it's going to be, if that makes sense. So I wanted to bring that topic up of mind management, because if for anyone who is feeling that they are struggling a little bit with keeping your thoughts in check, there are ways to take it one step at a time. And to take it one step at a time, you can teach your body the habit. So if you set these type of habits, say with the negative jar and the positive jar, you can have that as a kind of a reward, and then something you have to do that you dislike doing because you had a day where you weren't on top of your thoughts, things like that. Not saying that you don't validate your thoughts, you do, but I'm just saying that if you do these things, you're telling your mind and your body that, well, we were feeling better when we were on the positive one, and we like when we get money in the jar for this, we like when we reward ourselves with a nice bun, cake, coffee, and things like that, when we are on top of our thoughts. So we're going to keep going this way, if that makes sense. And I saw a story in Neville, I think it was Neville Goddard's book, either Neville Goddard or Joseph Murphy. I'm always interchanging between the two, because for me they are saying the same thing, and they have stories and all that type of thing about manifesting and things like that. But anyway, I think it might have been Neville Goddard. Anyone who knows will be able to recognize this straight away. But there was a story where this little boy, I think, had warts on his skin, and his mother came up, I don't know if it was given to her as a suggestion, or she came up with it, or the doctor said it to her, I can't remember, but came up with this thing that she would buy the warts off him. So she was telling her son that for every wart that he had, she'd buy them off, she'd give him a reward. And so obviously her son was a little boy, so he was getting excited about this. So you see where the reward is. So the emotion is coming up because we're getting excited about a reward. So he had these warts on his skin, and she said that, I'll give you so much for every wart. And so each day he would come to her and he'd say, another wart is gone off his skin, and she'd give him maybe 10p or whatever it was. And then he'd come to another day, and it was like the warts were starting to disappear, and eventually they all disappeared off his skin. And it was because of this behavior, this habit behavior of getting the reward for that was raising the emotion within the little boy, and so his cells and everything were obviously changing the mechanism within, and then eventually all the warts disappeared. Now I think this is in Neville Goddard's book, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. I may have that story even a little bit up and down because it's a while since I read it, but that is an example of how your emotions, when you're impressing the subconscious mind with the emotions, are for reward. So if you are telling your subconscious mind that you get a reward for your good behavior, I suppose you could say, but keeping your thoughts every day on what it is that you want, eventually it's going to become a habit into your daily life. And also as well too, if you set aside a few minutes every day, remember we're taking one step at a time if we are mind managing. So we can set a few times, say 10 minutes every single day, just to ease yourself even into it, and just think about what it is that you're manifesting, and think about it in them 10 minutes. Don't think about anything else, and then move on with your day and do what you have to do, and then have it then for the next day as well too. And the more you do this, then you're incorporating it into your daily routine. But also as well too, you will start to enjoy it a bit more. Because you are enjoying it a bit more, this will help you keep on your mental diet a lot quicker, a lot better as well too, because you will be saying, well, I have these few minutes to sit down and do my meditation or whatever it is that I do on deliberately creating. So because I really want to experience this thing, I'm going to continue with my mental diet, make sure my thoughts are in check. And the more you do this, then again, it's becoming a habit, and as a habit starts to become a new way of being, you are getting yourself into that whole process of continuing on with changing your mindset and changing your beliefs, and knowing that as you do this more and more, your intrusive thoughts are going to become less and less, and then you're going to start feeling better within yourself. And then as you start feeling better within yourself, you are coming up with assumptions. Remember, law of assumptions. But you start coming up with these little assumptions, that you start thinking about the things that you want, and you have these wee assumptions, and you think, yeah, this is going to happen. Or then you have excited kind of feelings, and because you're starting to feel better in yourself, because you're teaching your mind and your body that this is a new way of being, you're managing your emotions, and you're managing your mind as well too. So I just wanted to bring that up for anyone who is feeling a little like they were struggling a little bit with getting into the whole maybe conscious manifesting, but also struggling with keeping ourselves on what it is that we want, because it shouldn't be a struggle. It's all natural, and it should be a way of life, because conscious manifesting is like we've always been manifesting, and conscious manifesting is just keeping your thoughts in check. It's just keeping your awareness on what it is that you want to experience. And so it should be natural, because manifesting has always been natural up until your life before you got into it. Because yes, okay, you may have been doing it on an unconscious level through everything that you have learned in that, but now you know you can change that. It still should be natural, and it still should be coming from a place of knowing, that as I continue to entertain what I want, and as I continue to keep my awareness on what it is that I want, I'm going to experience exactly what I want, because it's always been like that before. So even in the negative way, if I kept stressing about something, or kept believing that this wasn't going to continue for me, or things like that, that inevitably became the reality. And so we're just changing it around to the other way. And I know that sometimes it can be a transition that is little bit of a challenge, but it's just getting over that little challenge and the way to get over that is to take it one step at a time. And you can take it one step at a time by mind management, and by giving yourself rewards, and then maybe doing things that you don't like to do because you spend too much time complaining, or things like that, because you're teaching your mind then the other way as well, that, well, when we complain, then we have to do this, so let's not complain, let's go the other way. So hope this video helps for anyone, and I will chat to you soon.